Happening in Fulton. County officials correct course and make a number of modifications for the 2020 general election. From the added voting locations to the new voting mobile unit, we have the latest election information. And the Fulton County Tax Commissioner joins us to talk about the deadline to pay those property tax bills already in the mail. And we've got details on how the public can access those daily pandemic reports and the rundown on the testing sites. I'm Shania Chavis-Rucker. Those stories and more in this edition of Fulton Today that starts right now. Welcome to Fulton Today, everybody. I'm Shania Chavis-Rucker. Fulton County officials announcing their full plan for the 2020 general election. While a number of voters casting ballots via absentee, tens of thousands voting early in person. FGTV's Douglas Bell has been leading our election coverage. Douglas.
Shania, election officials wanted to brief the public and the media on all of the many changes this election season. From the polling place modifications to the brand new app. County leaders wanted to share the information in their own words.
We're going to have 30 permanent locations, early voting locations around the county for 19 days, beginning October 12th. We will also have the 2 buses out in the field. Those buses will comprise basically 2 more permanent locations because they will be throughout the county every day. We are also going to have some outreach sites at some senior centers as well as on the 3 state college campuses, Georgia Tech, Georgia State, and Metropolitan State College. We've got State Farm Arena. The Hawks have been a key partner for us. They're providing all of the poll workers, all of the line managers. They're going to have more than 200 staff out there during early voting working. So the Hawks have been a great partner for us for this upcoming election. We've also got Georgia International Conference Center in College Park that will have 50 voting machines, as well as the Dorothy Benson Senior Center up in Sandy Springs. One thing that voters need to know, there's 91 new polling locations for November. So we need the help of all of you in the media to make sure to tell voters that they need to check their My Voter page so they know where they're supposed to go on election day.
Our app is now live in the Apple Store. I hope everyone will download it. The idea was to put information at voters' fingertips. It helps them find their drop box, helps them find early voting locations, and more updates are coming. And there are really 3 messages that voters need to keep in mind. The first is that voting by mail is easy and safe. You can do it without leaving your house. You can do every part of the process from your couch if you're working from home right now. Secondly, if you vote early, skip the lines. We have 30 locations and even more are coming with the mobile unit, college campuses, and others. And then the third, as Rick mentioned, thousands of people are affected by the additional polling places that have been added.
Again, the key message for voters casting ballots in person: know before you go, especially if you're voting on Election Day. And you can get all of the election information on the county's website or, of course, now on this new voting app. Reporting from downtown Atlanta, I'm Douglas Bell for FGTV.
All right, thank you so very much, Douglas. Now, if you missed the press conference and you want to see it in its entirety at your leisure, just check out the FGTV YouTube channel. Now, we wanted to show you more of that voting mobile unit that will be traveling all around the county.
There is no service that we provide here at Fulton County that is more important than elections.
What's so incredible about this bus, and by the way, there's a second one being manufactured that will be delivered before elections, is that we're really demonstrating by our actions.
This mobile voting unit is going to travel across the county to bring voting even closer to our residents. I'm proud to say that we in Fulton County, that we're the first county in the state of Georgia to offer this.
So the unit can be used in a variety of ways, but principally it can go to a site where we may have crowds, lines, and the like, because obviously that was one of the learnings from June. And to offset that, you suddenly have 8 new voting machines available to that site.
There's going to be 3 check-in stations inside, and once you see it, the voting machines are in the back. We've got a lift for wheelchairs on the back as well.
And to voting early, of course, is a huge component of that, along with absentee. But these mobile voting sites are just phenomenal.
Now, here's one more reminder that you can get all of the voter information on the county's website, including all of the early voting polling locations. Remember, there are changes to around 91 of the 255 polling sites that will be open on Election Day. There are a number of large community early voting sites, and of course, there are a number of absentee ballot drop-off boxes. So again, folks, know before you go. And still ahead, the Fulton County Taxman is here. We'll go one-on-one with our Ferdinand about property tax bills. Stay with us, everybody. Fulton County property owners, if you haven't already, check your mailbox. Tax bills have been mailed to residents, and the deadline to pay the bill is fast approaching. Dr. Arthur Ferdinand is the Fulton County Tax Commissioner. Sir, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Shania. Thanks for having me.
Well, this has been a year of unique challenges. How did it affect your office?
Our offices have basically been shut down since mid-March. Our Atlanta offices, the one in the Government Center at 141 Pryor Street and the one in Greenbrier, both in the city of Atlanta, have been shut down and still remain shut down for quite some time.
And sir, what other types of challenges did you face in getting bills out for 2020?
Every year, we seem to have some problems that seem to pop out of the blue. For example, last couple of years, it was our toss-up between a little dust-up between the county and the Revenue Department, but we prevailed. This year, of course, it's COVID-19, and all the precautions we have to take into account as we address the county's business. In addition to that, a couple of our cities were late in terms of setting the millage rate, and of course you know that the millage rate is absolutely necessary if you're going to calculate the taxes and to print tax bills, but we overcame those also. So it was a unique year in that regard.
And this must create much uncertainty for many of the governing and taxing authorities.
Yes, it does. Many of our cities, the two school districts, of course Fulton County, tax allocation districts, community improvement districts, all require tax revenue to operate. And any slowdown or disruption of revenue is cause for concern. It may require some of those jurisdictions to take out tax anticipation notes, which also come with an interest and a cost. And so those things are very troubling and of concern to my department and myself.
But sir, in the end, you got the bills out because I received mine.
Well, I'm glad you received yours because I did too. Getting the bills out is very important for our department. My team and the staff take that responsibility very seriously. The due date for the city of Atlanta is October 30th. The due date for the rest of Fulton County is November 15th. So this is a very, very important milestone for us. We don't want to see any disruption of services for any of the governments because of something we did not do. And so we take this seriously, and we dig deep during these times to make sure that those bills are out.
And sir, any final thoughts?
I would encourage taxpayers to pay their bills online. There are no credit card charges or fees. It's free. You can visit our website at fultoncountytaxes.org, where you can pay those bills. I would also encourage taxpayers to renew their tags online, or go to one of our many kiosks distributed in Kroger stores and in all of our offices. Again, there are no credit card charges or fees. It's free.
Dr. Arthur Ferdinand, Fulton County Tax Commissioner, always a pleasure, sir. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks again for having me, Sonia.
Now, once again, there are a number of ways to pay your bill, including plenty of online options. Visit fultoncountytaxes.org. And up next, details on how you can get the latest in the COVID-19 cases in your community. Come on back. Health officials in the state and in the county are hoping the number of cases of COVID-19 in Georgia continue to trend in the right direction. So, how can Fulton residents stay up to date on the numbers in their very own communities? FGTV's Priscilla Ortega joins us now with that answer and with details on the testing opportunities. Priscilla?
Shania, the Fulton County Board of Health provides an epidemiology report, which is posted on Fulton County government's website twice a week. The report shows cumulative COVID-19 case rates in the county and gives a breakdown by city. Joining me to provide details on the case trends and the free testing available for residents is Fulton County Board of Health Director, Dr. Lynn Paxton. Dr. Paxton, thank you for joining us.
Thanks very much for having me.
Dr. Paxton, let's talk about the trends. COVID cases appear to be going in the right direction in Georgia. How is Fulton County doing, and what do you attribute to the trend?
Yes, well, we're very pleased to say that, yes, indeed, COVID rates have been falling throughout Georgia, and particularly in Fulton County. So we're very happy to have seen that. We attribute that to a number of different factors. One is that we do believe that more people are wearing the mask as they should, which we've been pushing very much because that is the best way, that along with social distancing is the best way to prevent infection. So that's one thing. The other thing is that this is to a certain extent the natural history of any respiratory infection, such as, for example, the common cold and seasonal flu. At the end of the summer, very beginning of the fall is when we normally see perhaps our lowest rates. But what we are in gearing up for is the fact that fall is coming. The weather's already turning. It's getting a little cooler. Obviously, it's going to get much cooler, and people are going to start going inside. They're going to start being more exposed to other people, in closed environments. And so we are expecting that just as that is the start of the usual cold and flu season, we are gearing up to be prepared for increased number of COVID cases.
So how is testing going for the Board of Health, and what will testing continue to look like in the near future?
One thing we are doing is we have a very, over the past several months, we have developed a very efficient COVID system. We have free and easily accessible COVID tests available at a number of specimen collection sites in Fulton County. And those are continuing to operate. And starting around mid-October, we will be offering flu shots at those sites as well. So for people, we're encouraging everyone, this is all years, every year, everyone should be getting a flu shot. But this year, it's even more important than usual. So we will be offering flu vaccinations at our specimen collection sites, testing sites.
Dr. Paxton, what are your final thoughts?
Well, I just think that I just want to emphasize that we have a lot of power as a collective group to really have an effect on driving down COVID, even in the absence of a vaccine. We are hoping that there will be a vaccine available at some point soon that will, help with COVID. But I don't want people to think that just waiting for the vaccine is all that we have in our arsenal. We have seen, as you've mentioned, we've already seen drop-offs in the COVID rates, and we can push them down even further with these very simple things. But it requires everybody, all of the public, acting for the public good by doing these COVID prevention measures. So I would encourage that. And the last thing I want to say is that for those people who actually do test positive, one of the mainstays of epidemic control, and we are in a pandemic, is that you identify people who have tested positive. You identify them as quickly as possible, and then you talk to them to find out who they've been around and might possibly have infected, and you talk to them as well. So what we do have is we have an army of case and contact investigators. And so what I'm encouraging people is that if you get a call from, from a number, identified as Fulton County Board of Health or a COVID-19 team or all that, please answer the call, because it will be somebody who has information that is pertinent to you, either about your own test or that you have been made perhaps in contact with someone who has tested positive. The whole process is entirely confidential. If you get this call, for example, if you have been around someone who's tested positive, no one's going to say who that person was. They will all, it's only said you have been in contact with someone who has tested positive. And then they will ask a series of questions about that. And also advise people to monitor their own health, to get tested if they have not been tested. And they will have continued contact with them to make sure that they are still in good health.
Dr. Paxton, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
As a reminder, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends to wear a mask with 2 or more layers when social distancing is not possible, and make sure it covers your nose and your mouth. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Priscilla Baylog.
Yes, reminders about wearing a mask can't be said enough. Thank you so much, Priscilla. Now, one more time, please check out the county's website and social platforms to get details on weekly testing locations and hours. And when we come back, celebrating with youth who are working towards a life free of addiction. Stay with us. Well, we want to share with you how the Fulton County Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities celebrated the achievements of its latest graduates of its Clubhouse for Youth program. The virtual graduation ceremony culminated Fulton's observances of National Recovery Month and highlighted individuals who have been working on living a life free of addiction from drugs and alcohol. Take a look.
And Fulton County government would like to highlight those adolescents that have taken a stride to ensure that they equip themselves to live productive and independent lives. So we will celebrate their graduation from our Clubhouse program, as well as hear from some adults in the community.
Prior to Clubhouse, I was in a dark place with challenging times. And those challenges led me to make bad decisions in life. Not very proud moments. Later on, when I did go through court, I got into Clubhouse. Honestly, it has really changed my views and helped me stay on track with what I want in life.
I've been at Clubhouse for over a year now. When I first started Clubhouse, I was not how I am now. Like I was on probation for possession of marijuana and a weapon, and that was when I was in 7th grade. But my probation officer told me to go to Clubhouse. So when he told me to go to Clubhouse, my life changed very, very, like a lot.
My name is Unique Dixon, and I'm a woman in long-term recovery. What that means for me, as of June 15, 2016, I haven't used any mood or mind altering substances. My recovery date is also the same day that my friend overdosed at 27 years old.
I think this program really set me up for success in my home life and even beyond that, because before this program, I was in a really bad place and I felt like I didn't really have any direction, but the Clubhouse taught me new coping skills, and I was able to improve my relationship with my families and my friends. And I overall think I just learned more about myself.
Congratulations, graduates. Now, to learn more about the county's mental health services, check out the county's website on the Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities page. And finally, Fulton County Arts and Culture announces a selection of the inaugural Poet Laureate of Fulton County. Dr. Karen J. Head is confirmed by the Fulton County Board of Commissioners. Now, this program celebrates the rich culture of Fulton County and creates enthusiasm about the written and spoken word, as well as promoting community activities and special programs.
I think advocacy for the literary arts is always a fundamental part of being a laureate. As an educator, I also care deeply about exposing young people to the arts and providing outlets for them to share what they create. I'm a first-gen college student myself, so I also always like to use my platform to talk to students about the importance of higher education for improving their futures. So projects that put those two things together are at the forefront for me.
The Poet Laureate serves a 2-year term, renewable after the first year, following an assessment conducted by the Department of Arts and Culture. Congratulations, Dr. Head. And before we go, our reminder that FGTV wants to connect with you online. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for up-to-date county news. And you can also follow us on our YouTube channel, so please subscribe. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. Thank you so much for watching. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.